No, that's not it. Okay, can I be heard now? Okay, all right. I know I'm coming through. Hang on. Okay, now I'm pretty sure I'm coming through now. I'm hoping. Let me know if you can hear me. Merry Christmas. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so go back to the bidding. It is 1:06 a.m. here, so it's technically Christmas morning. Happy Christmas and Happy New Year. It's not a compressor. Oh, your compressor. I was going to say it's not a compressor. My aircon. But yes, no. We're currently the Impractical Blacksmith podcast is currently on a bit of a couple of weeks holiday. I go back to my regular job tomorrow night, or tonight technically for me. So I'm up anyway. But it is Christmas Day. I've got Christmas Day with my family this today. Got to go Christmas lunch. So I am off to bed in a couple of hours. I'm not staying up till late in the morning like I usually would on a Sunday night, early Monday morning. But yeah, just thought I'd go live, say g'day, do a little bit of editing while I'm here, and just basically see how everyone is travelling. As you can see on the screen behind me, I've got I'm currently doing a little bit of information on different styles of anvils, just to so I've got it in the book. I'm working on the book as always. I'm currently up to 129 pages. So yeah, 129 pages of information so far. But I hope you're all having a happy day. If everyone's probably like me and completely over Christmas at the moment. But yeah, no. So as some of you are well aware, I'm actually neo Nordic pagan. So I actually celebrated on the midsummer, or what would be midwinter there. So I celebrated Yule on Friday. My little family here opened our presents and exchanged our gifts, and we had a nice dinner. We had a roast lamb and roast pork dinner, which was absolutely amazing, as cooked by my wife. And we exchanged gifts, and that was really nice. From my wife, I got a bit of cash in order to finish off the new workshop. I've got to get some concrete put down for the footings, so she gave me a bit of cash to go towards doing that. And I've decided that rather than just trying to pay for a concrete truck, come in and pour it all in one hit, I'm going to just buy bags of concrete and do it in sections. It's just going to be easier. I'm going to keep the floor dirt, of course, but I do want to get that done. Also got some clothes that I desperately needed. I haven't gone around seeing my parents yet because I'm doing traditional Christmas with them, as I said, today. So I've still got some presents to get and whatnot. Also got some incense, a nice incense burner and all that type of thing. For my wife, she got about $700 worth of plants, which she's been ranting on about because she wants to put some shade trees around. And yeah, so also she got some crystals and whatnot as well. So that was really nice. Yeah. Days Grove, well, it's opposite here, Jack. As I'm sure you're aware, we've got it's summer here, so I'll just say g'day to everyone here. So we've got Stephen, of course, and Kevin, Trail Dust, Alexis, who was first one in with a hello. Who else we got? We got Jack Pines, Jared. G'day, Jared. And Toomsy, how are you there, bud? Happy Christmas. So that's what's been going on my end of the world. I'm currently a little bit miffed because I was doing some slashing earlier this week. Had the tractor out and was doing some more slashing. I'm trying to extend my house paddock a little bit, and I reversed up, and the end of a wrench, a shifting wrench that I used in order to fix the torn section on my slasher the other week. Unfortunately, I was reversing up, trying to turn my tractor around, and I clipped a tree and I shattered that little piece. I didn't tear the weld, nothing was wrong with the weld, it just that little piece of steel, the chrome alloy, unfortunately shattered. So I've now got to not be lazy and actually spend the money and go get a 20 mil or 22 millimeter drill bit, and a piece of relatively thick plate, cut out that piece and actually make it properly and fix the slasher properly. It's kind of a pattern for a problem for my next week off, but it's definitely something I've got to do. Also, I've had a friend contact me. Apparently there's an axe throwing like shop, I'm not sure what you call it, bar type thing, that's just opened up here apparently. And a friend of mine contacted me because they attended there, and said, hey, I know a blacksmith that can do pendant for you, of course suggesting me, and they were keen, so that may be an income stream or something to do that I'll be doing later, doing a whole heap of little axe pendants. So that's a maybe. Yep, still not 100% sure about that. I'm still going to get some more details off them, but literally that I've heard from them. Well, they messaged me yesterday. I got back to them last night, and then they messaged me this morning, and I only got back to them tonight. So yeah, awesome. That's wonderful there, Kev. Yeah, thanks for that, Trail Dust. We're blacksmiths, not singers. That's alright. So what I'll do while we're sitting here having a bit of a yarn, I will read you the information I've collected on the different styles. I've still got to go through and find all the images to actually put to this section. I fully intend on for each description of an anvil actually having different pictures with it. If I can find some decent ones, and I should be able to. There's nothing limiting my ability to do that. But I'll go through and read some of the differences I found. Because one thing I've never really been able to come across is any definitive like list of different patterns of anvil. And I don't, by patterns, so I'll read the intro to it. Right. So there are many other types of anvils or patterns. In this instance, a pattern refers to the overall shape of an anvil, whereas certain companies may have also have different patterns in which determine the manufacture of said anvil, i.e. a mouse hole London pattern anvil made in 1903 may have also been called a mouse hole 1903 pattern in reference to the specific moulding template, also referred to as a pattern used. So these are the different styles of anvil, therefore patterns that are out there. So of course we all know the London pattern. That's the most recognisable shape to most people, featuring a good working face, hardy and Pritchell holes. I've got to fix that spelling. Pritchel. Pritchel holes. Generally located at the heel end of the anvil, and a horn and a chisel step. Then, of course, the next one is what I've seen to be referred to as a Birmingham pattern anvil. So very similar to a London pattern anvil, however, it doesn't have the chisel step. Okay, you got your face and it steps straight down into the horn. Then, of course, the German pattern anvil, we all know because of Roy, German pattern anvil features no step down to the horn with a square heel on the end. No step down the horn with a squared horn at the end. Hardy and Pritchell holes generally located at the horn, either on the squared horn or the or on the regular horn. And it's actually good that I'm reading through this because it means I can fix my spelling and also add in the bits that I've missed, because I actually did all this bit via voice by dictation, so voice to text. The next one, of course, is what's called a Portsmouth pattern anvil. So this looks like a hybrid between a Birmingham and a German, so very similar to a German, except it's got the squared off horn on one end, but it steps down into the regular Beck horn on the front. Then you've got a Yorkshire pattern anvil. So Yorkshire pattern anvil is kind of like if you crossed the Portsmouth with it's got a step down on both ends to the horn, so it's still double horned, but the striking face is actually slightly raised, so it steps down to the square horn and it steps down to the big horn. So yeah, no worries there, Jared. Go feed your kids or youngins, and I'll catch you rain. Ron, this is just a chilled out stream, not overly strenuous. Let me move that, and actually, so you can actually see what I'm working on. There we go. You should be able to actually see what I'm doing now, because I'm working on the side of the page that I was covering up. So yeah. Yeah, so the Yorkshire, they steps down on both sides, and then so I kind of got on the page here. Let's see if I can see it. So that's kind of a little squiggle that I did over Yorkshire to just to remind myself, you know, what each one looked like. So when I go through and get the pictures for them, I can actually distinctly put that anvil next to, you you know, we all know what a London pattern anvil looks like. We all know what a German pattern anvil looks like. So, but for the rest of them, I can kind of go through and put them there. So, then the next one what I was looking at was, of course, the Sawyer's pattern. So we all know Sawyer's just basically a square block, and often lacks Hardy and Pritchell holes as well. We have an Austrian pattern anvil, kind of between a German and a London pattern. The horn is level with the face, no squared horn on the heel end. It's just got a normal heel. Then a Bavarian pattern, so very similar to Austrian, however it features an additional sloping face. It runs parallel to the working face, so you've got your flat face, and then you can either have it on the working side close to you or the working side away from you. It has another, like a 45-degree angled face, kind of 45 degree, and got your flat face, and it's got another angled face away from you. And that was generally a Bavarian, what they referred to as a Bavarian, or what was the other name? I think it was generally called Bavarian, but I think also went by the Bohemian pattern anvil as well. You got Armourer's pattern, a French pattern, Italian pattern, Spanish pattern, and of course you've got farrier's anvil, jeweler's anvil, carriage maker's anvil, nailers, and nailer's anvil, chain maker's anvil, and cutlers. So got all the definitions of the different types of the different main patterns of anvils in there, and then I'll probably put in a little table just like this, so it goes through and has the different, different styles of all those that they could be, and then all the different all the different features that they might have on them, like clips, upsetting blocks, different radii, different extra hardy holes, that type of thing, and then a whole list of the generally accepted makers throughout the early 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s. So you got Mousehole, Trenton, Pettinghouse, Euro, Peter White, Haybud, Mesodifers, Solding Halbach, Fermini, Schittelschmidt, Schloss, Colswa, Fisher, Vulcan, Arm and Hammer, Isaac Hill and Reflinghaus are just the main ones that you come across all the time, and those are ones that are generally well known and generally have some sort of markings on their anvils as well. There was a whole heap of makers out there across the ages. So yeah, I know I'm babbling on, but deal with it. I get excited about history, right? Actually, I found an article on, and it's actually in the book. Let me see if I can scroll up and scroll down and find it. Where is it? There it is. So, found an article on an anvil that was owned by a Mr. John Moses, who left England in 1630 and relocated to Donchester near Boston. And then he worked, by 1636, he moved to Windsor, Connecticut, and then Simsbury, Hertford County. And then, basically it talks about the anvil that he worked on in the colonies, and it was a last. So this was an anvil that stayed in the family for generations. About 250 years was the last, where they 1876 was the last record of where it was, with a Miss Alicia Drayton Moses, who resided in Mount Morris in Livingston County in New York. That was 1876, and this anvil was basically able to be tracked, and the lineage traced to this anvil all the way back to the 1630s, and so. Yeah, that was really interesting. It would be interesting to find out where that anvil, you see kind of down at the bottom of my screen, ish. Really interesting to find out where that anvil is now. So unfortunately, I have high doubts that it would be it wouldn't surprise me, particularly during the Second World War, it might have been collected and used for scrap. You can see it on my screen just underneath my face. But yeah, it would be interesting, but yeah, highly doubt it would be found. But 250 years worth of work went on and went onto that anvil, and yeah. So I included that little bit of history because that would have dated back to, you know, around the first colonization of the US, which would be really interesting if that anvil could be found now. I mean, it'd be worth an absolute mint, you know. But it would be interesting to have that just as part of colonial history for the US, and also, you know, as blacksmithing history. You know, say this dates back all the way to that period would be fascinating, in my opinion. Tuned in for Aussie Babble, eh? That's good. I'm glad you can put up with Aussie Babble. So yeah, so I was just working on that. I've got to delete that bit because I've already got them in now. So yeah, so basically, this is kind of my first pass of the edit. Just going through and putting and collating all the information and putting it in. You know, as you can see, I've got bits that are marked in red. That's for me to actually go back and double check over, or, you know, change things about, or, you know, like for example, once I finish making this bulk, so if you go, I'll scroll down. I have, where am I? These are anvil blocks. So as you can see, like all the figures are, you know, they're not really numbers. They're XX2 and XX3, for example, because I've got to go through and actually figure out how many images I have in there, and then, you know, go through and number them correctly so they match up with the articles. Then I have, where are the blow? I'm too far down. Hang on, let me go back up. So I've added a few color photos in there as well, colorized from black and white photos in there as well. Let me go to the this is the section I want. So where is it? No, I've gone too far. And then I haven't gone far enough yet. Okay, so these are all forges. Big section on forges and building forges, and a section on tweers, blowers and bellows. There we go. So coming up, I'll actually have, you'll see in big bright letters, I've got insert bicycle gearing plans here. It's because they've actually done a whole heap of calculations and gearing and stuff like that to actually build a set of bellows completely out of recycled bicycle parts. So that's, you know, the crank, everything, you know, it's all out of recycled parts except for the actual fan section that, yeah, but you can even use the hub of an old bicycle for the main bit, and then just, you know, just the fans that have to be attached. So yeah, so I've got that all worked out, and I've got the actual calculations and what needs to be used to the correct gearing and stuff like that to get a nice, really strong, solid blast out of it. So you know, I've got to go through, and I've got the drawings, kind of, I think, in my book here. So for example, I've got hand-drawn, oops, the wrong way, hand-drawn plans of a J-bod. That, you know, they're my hand-drawn plans, and for the forklift for Tiny, and then that's the page I've got ready for actually putting, you know, setting up my workshop. That's going to be my workshop, and different designs for, you know, different things. Also got a knife design in there, and designs for different forges and whatnot, and that is actually a PVC pipe Asian style, like box bellows. So the whole thing's made out of PVC pipe. I had a design for that as well. So yeah, there, the things I've got going on in the background whilst I'm writing the book. Things that I want to put unique plans in there, or adaptations of plans. If I scroll up a bit, I've got an adaptation of so just above me here, which you'll see is an accordion style or bellows that is actually an adaptation of one that I saw from the Peace Corps, written in 1986, and I've actually adapted the design to actually use car tire inner tubes in order to actually be the leather, and made it so it's actually a double bellows, and then that can be used for people who don't have access to leather or whatnot. You can't get the bicycle bellows going or something like that. So different styles and recycling, so that people have the access to. People can never say that they can't because they don't have access to anything. I'm trying to put the information here that is also useful, would have been useful 100 years ago, is also useful today with a little bit adaptation in order to get it done. People can never say I can't do it because I don't have access to X. Good old bicycle blower or car tire accordion bellows, J-bod forge, and a forklift tying anvil or a hunk of steel. There's no excuse not to do it. That's kind of been what I've what the aim of it is. So yeah. So, and as you can see, I've got there are bits of blankness in here, but that's only because I'm trying to leave space for getting the next more information in there if I come across stuff that I need to put in. I've got here's a plan that came from 1915 about a blast gate. Building a blast gate, something you can build out of thin sheet metal. Then I go into some information on different fuels, and yeah, so you can see there's a lot of information. I've got to get some more stuff on fire tools. I'm still getting into that bit. There's a hell of a lot of information in here that hopefully I don't send people to sleep with, and it's actually all practical. But yeah, that's the hope anyway. And these are just from articles. I haven't even started on the book references that I've got yet. I'm talking because no one's talking back to me. No one's saying anything in the chat. I'm looking at you all. I can see. I've got 5 current viewers, or concurrent viewers apparently. Hang on, let me see if switching over to live chat saying anything. Nope. Last one to say anything was Kevin, who was running out the shop. But yeah. Let's see. Can I pop that out? Pop out, yes. Pop that out. That doesn't help. Go back in. Right. So yeah, I've got very loose sections on forging and whatnot, and I'll be going into the operations of blacksmithing, basic techniques, and then I got welding in there because I had a section on it. But if I can bring it up, let me go into my notepad and I'll bring up just on my notes. I currently have, as soon as I find my lists, So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 1, 2, 3, 64. I've got 64 different projects for this, like, to build skills and all that type of thing, including making tools and stuff like that. But also, and that's not to go into like, for example, you've got your flat jaw tongs, that's one. Then you got your box jaw tongs, and you got your pickup tongs. There's 3 different types of tongs right there. Without going into your bolt jaw tongs, there's another style. Scrolling tongs, there's another style. So and then I've got in the information, I've got stuff like more demanding projects, like making a wrought iron hat stand, for example, or a table base, and stuff like that. So just artistic ironwork, and also information on flowers and roses and all that type of thing. So just the basics, and then I've got a whole heap of different things. Let me see if I can actually bring one up. For example, let me go back. Is it in here? Let me see if I can find it, and I'll show you an example. Let me open up that one. So yeah, so for example, you should see loading up just behind me the artistic ironwork umbrella stand, which is a fairly quote unquote simple but visually interesting thing, which is basically made out of flat bar. You do a couple of twists, some scrolls, and make them all standard, and a couple of rings, rivet them together, bolt them together, and there is an interesting item that is visually interesting but also functional there for someone to make. That, and I tend to put that in the book as well, as a little bit more of a challenging task for someone that wants to try something a bit more challenging, because one of the things I find is a lot of the books that I have, I've got books coming out my ears, is there's nothing really like that. They've got interesting stuff, but this is nothing really like that. I find that functional art. So yeah. So yeah, that's let me see if I can find another one. I'll close that one down for a second and see if I can find another. What's this one? This is another style of rose, for example. And it also goes into making the leaves and everything like that. I know I've got more that are even more interesting. I think it's in there. There we go, hang on. Yeah, so if, for example, the one that's coming up behind me now is a like a lamp hanger, and then we've got, well, hopefully if I actually opened up the there we go, if I put it over here, then I can open up different things. So it's got the techniques on actually how to complete all these tasks, and the tools you'll need to do them as well. And then no, that doesn't have a picture. That does, but it doesn't really cover much. Yeah, so this is showing the different making. For example, at the rivet header to if you just look just above me, there's a rivet header just up here. There's a rivet header that actually goes onto the different side of the rivet header that actually go onto the leg vise to actually assist in riveting together scrolls. We all know that there were scrolls and stuff that were riveted together, but there's no real information on how it was done. And I saw all this, and it was like, oh, that's really interesting. I'm gonna make sure I include that, so that people have a visual idea on how things were done, rather than just we all know collaring and stuff like that. Yeah, and then I've got heaps and heaps and heaps, even a little bit for Roy. I've got some Baroque style leaves and stuff like that, acanthus leaves and whatnot. In information on this in here as well, and stuff on door handles and andirons particularly, and I mean I know part of the Abana curriculum, for example, is a great fireplace grate, and I think that particularly that one that's off to that side now. I'm not sure if you guys can see the whole thing, because I've got stuff covering up. Yes, you can. Okay, that one that's off to that side now, just over there, is a really, really interesting and pretty gate that put in there to inspire someone if they really want to go ahead with it. G'day, Eric. So that's this types of I've got not just practical projects, but also artistic stuff in there as well, in order to pick the interests of people that eventually decide to do it. As you can see, I've got a whole heap of I've already started putting stuff together for andirons. This one, for example, is a plan on how to put andirons together, and practical tools like cutter for wedges. And just coming up behind me now is actually a home built bench vise or a drill press clamp. So the whole heap of practical things, so that people can't just turn around and go, well, I can't because I can't afford, or I can't because I don't have access to. So actually I can close that. Yes, I'll save that. Not now. I'm kind of making it. I'm trying to make this craft accessible to everyone. Even if they don't have much money, because I mean, we're blacksmiths. We can make everything. Yeah, the whole modern world was built on the back of an anvil, in my opinion. That's the saying, anyway. Oh. So yeah. If you guys can excuse me for just 1 minute, I'm going to quickly run outside and grab my tobacco, because I've been streaming for a while now, and I need a cigarette. So I'll be back in just a sec. You can all bag me out in the chat while I'm gone. I should have been better prepared. Alrighty, I am back. I just realised I don't need my headset on. It's not like I'm listening to anyone else at the moment. I'm talking to you guys, but there's no one audibly talking back to me. So but yeah, so that's I've even got a few things for recipes for like rust prevention, for tools and things. There's a recipe I've got for or a couple of different recipes I've got for bluing and browning. Then there's information I've got for making whitewash, different types of whitewash for using in blacksmith shops, which can actually help prevent, which is to a certain degree fireproofing, or fire resist. They help increase fire resistance in wood and stuff like that. Because I know particularly you guys over in the US, some of your shops are predominantly wood, and yeah, so these are tried and true recipes from the mid to late 1800s, that were these like, for example, the whitewashing was recommended by fire insurance companies in order to stop shops burning down. And there were some fire insurance companies that they wouldn't provide cover unless you had your shop whitewashed, or they would reduce their premiums if you had your shop whitewashed. And also, a lot of smiths turning around saying, whitewash the inside of your shop because it helps give you better lighting. And I've also got information. I actually think, if I remember correctly, no, it might be in that one. I've got, so here's an article on shop lighting. You can see it right behind me, about and this is from, what year was that? That is 1911 and 1912, talking about having electric lights, or having good lighting in your shop so that you don't strain your eyes, and then also so that if you have access to electric lighting, to get electric lighting in your shop, so that it's safer for you to work and that you can do better work. And this was from a period where a lot of people think back in 1900s and go, oh yeah, we had electricity, but there wasn't electricity everywhere. Definitely, and definitely not to the standard that we have now. So yeah. You edited a few hobbits into the book while I was gone. Fair enough. I can appreciate that. Got to find the hobbits. Again, the hobbits to Isengard, to wise. Sorry, the hobbits. See, look, it says, so I'll see if I can scroll down. It's probably behind my head, but it says, when it comes to artificial lighting, electricity is the best if it's available. And there are new things in electric lights and heavy power single globe lights that give excellent results by proper distribution of individual drop lights. In some factories, instead of using drop lights, they use a myriad of lights in the ceiling to give a daylight effect. This is mighty nice, but it is very expensive and hardly ever justified in the blacksmith shop. Quite a number of good individual drop lights will do the work. So they're talking about, it comes back to that old argument, you're not a real blacksmith if you don't do this. Well, turn of the century, they're talking about, they're encouraging having electric lights in your shop if you can afford it. It's just like, it comes back to that old adage, blacksmiths would use the tools because that makes the job better. Yeah, exactly. It was a time where there were some people that thought electricity was the fad. This was also during the time where, for example, being a mechanic, an automobile mechanic, was not a thing. It wasn't its own trade yet. An automobile mechanic as a trade is something that is, even now we're in the 2020s. It was still blacksmiths that were doing it in the 1920s. That trade is less than 100 years old, and it is an extension of blacksmiths. So yeah, blacksmiths and to a certain degree, mechanical engineers and your locomotive mechanics and all that type of thing. But yeah, automotive mechanics is something that is still, in the grand scheme of things, a young trade. As compared to, then you get your gas fitters and all that type of thing. That even gas fitting, is arguably an older trade, because they use gas lighting in London for at least 170 odd years. Coal gas, and you've got so trades like air conditioning, AC techs. That's a young trade. So automobile mechanics and truck mechanics and stuff like that, heavy machinery mechanics, that is something that is at a stretch 100 years old, so it may be a teenager in regards to trades, where blacksmithing is ancient. It's the granddaddy, one of the granddaddies next to carpentry. So yeah, it was also, Kevin, it was also around the time where they thought that the electrical waves moving through the air was causing illness in people, and that having artificial lights at night was actually overall terrible for people's health. Candlelight and gaslight was a natural light. We're having unnatural electric lights at night would end up in raising death rates. It's the same sort of arguments that people have about 5G now, and had about 4G, and it's all these, it's the same sort of argument, slightly rebranded every time there's a new discovery. Speaking of new discoveries, in the news this week, it's been fission has been proven to be success. They first discovered it probably about 10 years ago now, where they had a whole heap of hydrogen atoms, and they focused lasers on them and actually put 150% output of energy, which laws of conservation of energy generally against that, but this particular experiment produced 150% output. And there's a the old saying, do it once, okay, that's interesting, do it twice. Do it once, it's a fluke. Do it twice, it's interesting. Do it 3 times, it becomes it's repeatable. It means it can be proven. So the last couple of weeks, they've actually the university that started studying it has actually put out basically saying it is possible, and those hydrogen atoms are fused into helium, and in the fusion process actually it's not cold, it's still hot fusion, but put in that process, put out 150% energy. But they're comparing it to like when cars were invented, the infrastructure for cars to travel like they do now just wasn't there. When they first discovered oil, the uses until petroleum or gasoline engines came along to harness oil, as a fossil fuel. There was a period, a good period of I think it was 40 or 50 years where nothing was done with petrochemical oil, because or it was a cheap throwaway product, because there was no uses for it. And then you come up with the gasoline engine and all these other kerosene and all these other products that came from that process, and that's how we've got a certain cars and certain large industry and stuff like that we have nowadays as a result of that. So that fusion, we don't have the infrastructure required for that fusion generating energy yet, but being at the start of it, I think, is really exciting and just as inspiring as it might have been being around at the time where petrochemicals started to become a thing. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's not great for people's health there, Eric, but it's not the deadly people are going to drop dead in their thousands that they put forward in those campaigns from the mid 1800s or the late 1800s. It's not as dire as they put it forward. Yeah, and I mean, I have in the Practical Blacksmith's Companion, I actually have at least I wouldn't say it's a plan, but it's a design and a talk about fuel oil or waste oil forge, a waste oil forge. Let me see if I can find it. So it just above me now, having the different nozzles and whatnot. Definitely something that needs to be forced air. But they had just up above me now. They had designs for fuel oil or waste oil forges. To actually burn waste oil or use waste oil. There's even a design of, and I don't know if I'm going to include it, but around the 1920s, when mechanics were starting to work on cars a lot more frequently, and there was a plan for an oil burning stove for the workshop to use during winter. And they said during the summer when you're doing all your services of cars and stuff like that, save up the waste oil, filter it, and filter what you can in order to recycle it, of course, but save up the waste oil, and then you can burn it in this stove for the winter to help keep the shop warm. Very much recycling. It was recycling. It was because it was still a petrochemical. It was still something that could be burnt. Oil has a fairly decent BTUs when it comes to burning it. It's just that it's not efficient as coal or gas or charcoal. G'day Chaz, how are you there, bud? Thanks for coming and joining us. G'day Matthew, Merry Christmas, Happy Yule, Happy Hanukkah, whichever holiday you decide to celebrate at this time of year. Hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're not too stressed. I hope your families are well. Your mother-in-law is not driving you insane. I'm really lucky. I have a fairly cool mother-in-law. I'm not saying that just because she's watching, because she's not. She doesn't. I don't even think she knows my channel exists. But yeah, no, my mother-in-law is actually pretty cool, and so is my father-in-law, to be fair. But my wife is back from her holidays now. She went down and spent a week and a half, near on 2 weeks down with her family, visiting her mother and father, her brothers, and her sister-in-law and her nephew. We've only got one child in the combined families. Actually, we've only got one nibbling so far. I've got 8 brothers and sisters, but I'm the eldest, and then my next one down, he's 35, and he's not planning on having kids anytime soon. So yeah. So that's my spiel. Excuse me a second. I can hear something. No, I'm just going insane. I was sure I could hear a TV or something. I'm just going insane. I'm just starting to hear noises. That's right. You're gonna be crazy to live in the tropics and be a blacksmith, right? So yeah. And no, it's not feedback because my headset's over there, and I don't have any. I think I've got my. Yep, I've got my live stream muted, so I'm not getting that feedback. So I don't know. Like I said, going insane. But yeah, maybe I'm probably just overtired. And then yeah, and you can see on this page I've started the bibliography. Of course, bibliography is something that I've read but actually haven't included as something I might have got inspiration from, but the material isn't included. But I also have a reference list as well, so things that I did actually include. So yeah, and that will have, that will be a rather extensive. Well, it won't really be extensive list because it'll be just include the publications that I included, but it'll be an extensive list in the sense of all the books and stuff like that I've pulled bits and pieces from. But yeah. I trust you were listening there, Toomsy. Well, I've got 4 viewers at the moment, so according to my information. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button while you're there, or hit that line. Most of you are subscribed anyway, but don't forget to hit that like button. Have excellent stream health apparently. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on. And so so sometimes I scroll up, do a bit, scroll down, do a bit, chase myself in circles, do a bit. Then do things like find a picture like this and go online and colorize it, because that was originally a black and white picture, and I think it looks slightly better colorized. Looks a little bit more authentic, and go through, find information, pick through it, find out what's relevant and what's completely useless. Type a hell of a lot of typing, a lot of formatting. Going back and forth and whatnot. I'm up to like I said, I'm up to anvils and stuff like that. I haven't even included the section on unique anvils, like your ploughtsmith anvil or the right angled anvil. Just basic anatomy of the anvil and stuff like that. So yeah, and this is section 2, anvils, tools and workshop layout. Let's go back up to the see, I got big notes for myself to do things so that I recognise what I've got to go back and do. And I've got to update that anyway, so update field while I'm here. So yeah, introduction and shop safety, and then section 1, which is forges, tweers, bellows and blowers. Then the next section is forge fuels, fire and fire tools. Section 2, section 3 is anvils, tools and workshop layout. Section 4 is basic blacksmithing operations. And then I'll go into section 5, making basic tools. Section 6, which will be beginners projects, etc. So yeah, it's a slow, but I'm finding it rewarding so far. Blowers. I have a lisp there, Ben. If I ever find the person that decided to name this, speech impediment with an S in the name, lisp, I'd like to throttle them. My tongue is too long for my head. I also can't point my tongue. I'm pointing this out to a friend. A lot of people can stick their tongue out and make it go like really pointy. I can make mine round, but I can't make it pointy. I don't, for some reason. I just don't have the muscles in my tongue to do that. So, in order for me to say S, a lot of people put their tongue behind their teeth and kind of blow around it and get the letter S. I've actually got to throw the tip of my tongue up into the roof of my mouth and then blow around it and kind of whistle around my tongue in order to get the S sound. So that's the reason why sometimes I have to stop and think about how to shape my mouth in order to say certain words. Why did you want me to say blowers again there, Ben? out of morbid curiosity. I'm sure I'm going to regret asking. I'm going insane. I can hear a TV, I'm sure of it. Just overtiredness. It's my bed calling me. But I've got another half an hour before I can even think about going to bed. Yes, I did miss your joke then, Ben. Something about your smoky ham. Yep, you've completely lost me. Ah, okay. I thought that was a blowy, not blowers. And then, another Australian slang term for it is gobby. S in Hawaiian language. No, I am very. I haven't done a 23andMe or your genetics thing, but I'm fairly sure I'm at least 80% European background. Maybe a little bit of Roman in there, but yeah, 80% European. There is a chance. There is a non-0% chance that I might have some. I may have some indigenous Australian in me somewhere, but yeah, no. For the most part, I'm fairly Northern European in heritage. So yeah, but yes, I've got some interesting information. I've also got somewhere. The original design for a vice grips for a locking adjustable wrench. Where is that? It's repairing a vice screw. I'm pretty sure it's in this magazine. Hacksaw frame. No, that's not what I want. See if I can find it and I'll bring it up, because it was like mid 1800s, long before anyone ever considered it. Which was really interesting. I love finding bits like that, the interesting little tidbits that kind of change my perspective on just how old some tools are. Like we look at, for example, something like a hammer and we know it's ancient, but locking adjustable clays, for example, are not something that we consider to be, we kind of, in the back of my head, it kind of was always, oh yeah, that's something that's, maybe 80 years old, but I never considered it being, more than that, 150 years old, for example. That was always interesting. It's always interesting when I find little bits like that. Which was like, oh, that is cool, That you're going to have this talk. Yeah, well, Ben, I believe you might be slightly older than me, but I'm not going there. I'm not going there with you, Ben. Oh, there's an interesting one. A candelabra. So, something like ornamental plants, so that's the ornamental side table I was talking to you about before. Like I said, I've got lots of information. Something a little fun, because everyone kind of wants to do something like, a grappling iron. I know about you, but I want to kind of put that in just for the heck of it, because why not? We all had that fantasy of kids of being Batman with the swinging around a grappling iron and climbing up something. So putting a grappling iron in there would be as funny as, I reckon, absolutely funny. They're self-adjusting tongs. I know it's here somewhere. I kind of want to find it now. I'm on a mission. I'm hyper-focusing. Yeah, you're only like 40, aren't you, Ben? I am calling you a little older. I'm pretty sure you're not massively older than me. It's not like you're in your 50s. I feel a lot younger than I am. Like I know that I'm, I'm 37. I'll be 38 this year. But I definitely don't feel 30. Like in my bones, I feel 38. Sometimes I get a bit slow and stiff to get up in the morning. But on the overall, I definitely don't feel 37. I still feel like I'm in my 20s. Still stupid enough to be in my 20s. No worries, Alexis. Thank you for coming back. Yeah, so you're only 10 years older than me. That doesn't really count. shears. No, that's for an anvil shears. And a rivet header. And a pipe spreader. So Chrissy is going to jail. I don't know who Chrissy is there, Ben. Gonna have to explain. I'm a bit insensitive when I say things. I'm sorry there, Kevin. I was only meaning just Ben in the massively older than me thing. Not to say, you know, I'm against people that are older than me, you know. It's just a kind of a dig at Ben. A lot of people, Sam Towns is younger than me. He's only, 29, I think, maybe 30? Something like that. There's a bit of information here on making a pipe wrench. Also one on an adjustable spanner. See, even Americans called it a spanner at one stage, not a wrench. Adjustable spanner from American Magazine from 1898. So okay. I'm absolutely on a mission to find this vice grips now. It's annoying me. They are it's a patent wrench. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. It was for never slip corks, but with a locking vice grip wrench. The first set of vice grips. As you can see, I believe just above my head, just up there, and that was from 1917. And if I can bring up that, see if I can find the original patent for the vice grip pliers. Let's go sort by date, publication date going up. So that was in 1917 was that one. The first rubberized grip for handles wasn't until 1920. And the first patent for a set of locking pliers or a combination tool wasn't until 1920 as well. So yeah, I find it interesting. I find little bits and pieces like that and just go through and why is that not showing me the last comment? There we go. Chat's finally caught up. Sexy old costume from Ben. No worries, Eric. Have a good one. Merry Christmas. Stay safe and be good. Ugh. I don't know if I'd call Ben a sexy elf. Moderately attractive, maybe at a stretch. Let's close all these superfluous tabs down now. Don't need them anymore. But yeah, that's also an issue that I'm having, and I was kind of like, I know I saw this thing about that somewhere, and it's just a matter of going back and actually finding where that information was. Were they jelly candies or were they hard candies? Put them in a slingshot. Particularly hard candies. I reckon if you put a hard candy in a slingshot or what they call it, there's another name for them. The rubber band slingshots. There's another name for them. I can't think of what they are right now. I'm tired. My brain isn't firing on all four cylinders. But yeah, funnily enough, the t-shirt cannons are illegal in Australia. Arm-braced slingshots are also. The ones that aren't arm braced, you can have, but anything with an arm brace, that's not legal. Single-handed crossbows aren't legal in Australia. You can get double-handed. You can get large crossbows. I think the largest we're legally able to still in certain parts of Australia, I should say. The largest we're legally able to purchase. I'm legally able to purchase a £120 crossbow. Haven't got one yet. Trade it for a V8, the brain, yeah. I'm just not caffeinated enough, and I've been up since about 4 a.m. yesterday morning. It's nearly 3 a.m. now, so nearly 24 hours I've been up. But that's what I do on changeover. It's kind of just how I roll. It's how I roll. Gee, my Australian accent is really coming out strong tonight. I'll get off the stream later there, Alexis, and go, that's what it was, and I'll remember it as soon as it's always the way it goes, isn't it? Ben, I wasn't built for speed, I was built for comfort. I'm like a Victory motorcycle. Not that they manufacture those anymore. An Indian. No. Nice and low. Laid back. Cruising. Anyone that says Harley to me, Harley is a great brand, very intelligent brand, but wouldn't say they're great bikes. No worries there, Trail Dust. Have a safe one. I'm probably going to wrap up in about 4 minutes. Like I said, time to head for a little bit of a shut eye while I'm sitting here. I may as well save this so that I don't lose my progress. There's nothing more annoying than going back and losing your progress. I've got to get rid of, I don't know why this is all no colour. Oh, it's all highlighted. So yeah, it's got grey highlights in the background. I'm going to go yellow, and now I want to go no colour. See, it's still got grey highlights in the background. Why has it got grey highlights? It's going to annoy me. I know it is. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'll get hyper focused on that and then not actually do anything to save. Get distracted every 5 minutes. Yep, that's about me at the moment. Alright, well, I suppose 2 minutes left. There's not really much else for me to talk about. I'm just scrolling through and making sure everything's all good. Make it a little bit smaller, I think. There we go. Save again. Go through and readjust all these pictures at some stage so that the text fits in nice and neatly and doesn't, fall onto another page that isn't necessarily needed like that. But yeah, time to call it a night. It's already a night, but we'll say early morning technically, but it's still dark outside. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Yule, Happy Hanukkah, Happy holidays, happy whatever holiday you decide to celebrate at this time of year. Hope you stay safe, stay happy, eat lots of food. If you drink alcohol, drink lots of alcohol, particularly if you don't have to go to work. Have a drink for me, because I'll only be able to have 1 or 2 today. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.